Hello again. Last time we were adventuring together, we got to the top here of Sen's fortress. We had a quick invasion, and I believe the video cut right as the invader was coming down. So, turns out that was a friendly invader. Guy just waved, shook hands, greeted each other as friends, and upon realizing that I was just exploring through the game or something, or perhaps for other reasons unbeknownst, he just wished a hearty farewell and left. So, yeah, friendly invaders. Happens every now and then, but always fun to see. Anyway, so now that we're at the bonfire, let's go ahead and see if we can first repair some of our equipment, because we are right at the next boss fight. Let's see if we can reinforce our Uchigatana, because we've got a couple large Titanite shards in our disposal now. So it looks like here we're going to pick up another 9 base and 4 bonus. And another 9 base and another 4 bonus. So we can't quite take it to plus 10, but we are definitely climbing. Let's see about reinforcing armor. We don't have any Titanite shards though, so it doesn't really matter. My character equipment, let's look at our status. 17 out of 81. We've got the thief set here. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to the more iconic Elite Knight set. Just so we get a bit more defense, which we can do with relative ease. We're under 50% equip load there, courtesy of having Havel's Ring. So if at this point you still don't have it, you definitely want to go get it. Gotta have the Havels. It's a pretty standard ring no matter what you're running, although I guess if you're running starting gear thief or whatever, you just want to keep that for as long as possible. Knock yourself out, by all means. So we are sitting at a physical defense that is now much, much higher. How are we soul-wise? Level up is about 6,000 more. I highly doubt we have 6,000 souls at our disposal, but let's check. We do have some boss souls, if we so desired. What are these souls worth? Well, not quite. So that will be about 3,000, meaning we're about 3,000 short. Yep, we're about 3,000 short. So let's risk here. First off, gotta take this drop down. Let's go pick up. There is a soul. I think I bypassed right here. Nope, we actually did pick it up. There. We'll deal with him in a second. Let's go ahead and pop this soul. There we go. So we've been working the endurance. We're now at a first threshold. 24 is what I had to stop at Dark Souls 3 to get 120 stamina. So I'm interested to see if that's what ultimately that pans out to in this game as well. But that 120 stamina guarantees that you get many, many hits. Oh, we have looks like a member of the Sun Bros. Willing to jolly cooperate a bit. So let's go here. Before we advance down, we're gonna follow around the edge of the building. Got some Baldur Knights to deal with. There's another one down there. We'll get to in just a sec. Okay, that way we can get to this ring, the Flame Stoneplate ring. Now we don't need that just yet, for this next boss at least. However, it will be nice to have. Nothing like some additional fire resistance. Definitely useful. I don't know if it's possible to get here before, say, Quelaag, but no, it can't be because you'd have to ring the bells. So you'd have to have that drop from another player. Bum-ba-da-bum. Excuse me. No, sir. Thou canst not chug thy Nestus here. Okay, and up ahead, we've got a not-so-friendly encounter at these stairs. So, standard tactics. Just bait him out like a normal enemy. And kill. Kill, kill, kill. Always kill. Not really much room for happiness in Dark Souls. Honestly, even less so in Bloodborne. I don't think anyone has a happy ending in that story. So anyway, Rickard's Rapier. Another fine dexterity weapon. Just unmodified, unupgraded at this point. There should be stairs here. You do want to stay on the move, by and large. Here, we've got another one of these guys. So, use the terrain to your advantage, especially with this katana. We can get a straightforward thrust. Just exploit the terrain a little bit. Leads to nothingness, I believe. I don't think this is a illusory wall. Nope. I suppose you could kill him from here. No real pressing need to do that just yet. Next, we can come in this angle. Follow up and around. Here you're going to be shot at. The crossbow wielder. So just stay on the move. He'll miss you. Drop him when you got the chance. If If you need Titanite shards, I've found that he's actually a fantastic source of Titanite shards. You just have to be willing to sprint back and forth to the bonfire a bunch. Over here is a fantastic set piece. Just a room with chairs and a table. Apparently there's a summon in there. Someone else appreciates the close proximity to the fight. But we are interested in going up here. Here you gotta be careful. I'm gonna go ahead and Estus up, because as you can see, the giant is trying to kill us. He doesn't like us being here. There you have it. Not terribly hard, but they're a one-time kill as well. Aha, and they drop a Titanite chunk. Nice. So, you definitely want to do that. This one here will, I believe, be the one that chucks projectiles down at the center map. So there's no compelling reason not to. Here, I could go back through the process. I'm going to see if I have a homeward bone, though. We'll just homeward bone back to the bonfire, because we're sitting on a level up. No reason to do the next boss fight if you've got it. Always a handy rule of thumb. If you've got it, use it. So we are marching that stamina forward. Gives us even more room for error, more room for attack. The worst setback that we just received by cashing in our souls was that now we'll have to kill that archer again. And that Baldur Knight back there is going to completely ignore us. He just waits. So I don't even have to kill him technically. It's just he's such an easy target. If you need the souls, go for it. Like we mentioned, easy source of Titanite shards. So, here we are at the boss fight. This one will be the Iron Golem, I believe is his name. So as we enter, you will want to dash ahead and stick a little bit to either side. I tend to veer to the left. He will use a horizontal slash that involves an arc of wind flying towards you. And I find that if I veer to the left, it gets hit on the platform in the center, and I get shielded from it without ever having to really try. Your goal in this fight is to get underneath the giant and attack his legs. Attack his legs often enough and he will stagger, and he may even fall to the ground. In that case, just keep on slashing, keep on attacking, and eventually the victory will be yours. A couple of attacks to watch for. He's got a giant axe. He will swing it at you. Watch for that. He's also got a grab attack where he can and easily will throw you off the building, because it's a very narrow ledge. You're even fighting in one case on a bridge. So, those are really the only gimmicks to this fight now that we've taken care of the golem, or the giant. So, let's go ahead and take on the boss. Like I said, I am dashing forward and sticking to the left. That platform takes the hit for me. Then I am getting in between his legs, letting the attack take. Then I am just focusing on his legs. Oh, there's that grab. I'm probably dead. Yep. And it took a while for the world to realize that I was out of bounds. So yes, death can and will happen quickly if you get grabbed. I suppose maybe there's a way to just bait him to the center so that that throw doesn't throw you off the ledge. In my experience, I just normally fight him and deal with the fact that I get thrown off sometimes. But oh, didn't get anything that time. So we're 2 for 3. So I don't know, let's see if we can bait him to the center. Never tried that, I'm willing to play with it. Here, Iron Golem. Okay, you're in the middle of the room now. Oh. Cool. Okay. Probably get back away from that ledge. Oh, there's another grab. I'm curious what his tell is there. Normally never cared. You gotta be careful with that jump back, or you could just gonna jump off the ledge. I suppose that'd be a pretty funny cheese. Looks like that's his tell. Okay. Running low on Estus. Probably means I haven't kindled that fire. Keep attacking. So I wonder if it's that you have to do heavy attacks. And not just consistent attacks. Either way, there's the Iron Golem. So let's go ahead and give our hearty hoorah! Step into the ring of golden light. From there we will now enter the city of Anarlondo. We'll advance down these stairs, which is the only path forward for us. If you can help it, you don't necessarily need to aggro these guys. I don't even know if they will directly. No, they will. Last playthrough, they just left me completely alone. So anyway, just ignore them for now. The center building over here is your goal. And here's another glorious bonfire that is kept by a fire keeper, seated over there in the corner. This one, though, is a bit more chatty. So, let's go ahead and do our level ups. Okay, so we can get 3, it looks like. This will put us at 108. Our damage is still not high, because our dexterity stat is only at 25. However, that being said, we are well on our way to having a solid vitality and a solid endurance. So once we're done with those 2 stats, we can then focus more on our endurance. Not doing anything with intelligence or faith. Resistance we can largely ignore. Attunement, unless we decide to actually attune more than one spell, maybe. In which case then we'd have to focus a little on intelligence and faith, perhaps. But once vitality and endurance are pretty set in their ways, we can then just power through on dexterity. If my friend, and he hasn't yet told me if he wanted to go one way or the other just yet, changes his mind, I may also just switch it once we get dexterity to 40 and start doing strength, so that we end up with more of a quality build of 40 in each category. But for now, he's keeping it as dexterity, so I'm going to follow suit. So, this next part we will advance forward. Now, there are 2 options presented to us. We can do the Ornstein and Smough fight, which is one of the next, or the boss in this next area, or we can also explore the painted world of Ariandel. At least I think it's Ariandel in this game. I don't think it's Ariamis. The painted world. We'll just leave it at that for now, and I'll figure out which one it is later. I'm inclined to say visit the painted world. But either way, as you can see ahead, we've got a nice little bell gargoyle mini boss now. Gone is the health bar and back is the enemy. Going to go unlocked. If you want to slash his tail, you can. But as you can see here, up ahead, our way is blocked. We physically cannot progress. What you see with the winding staircase there is actually a moving platform puzzle of sorts. So first we need to figure out how to get to it. Off on this ledge here and drop down to the side. Let's go ahead and gather the area's treasure. Down at the base here is the chest. And I don't remember if there's anything up top. Doesn't look like there is. So, with that being done, your goal is to walk across the architecture. Careful here, your camera can do some wonky things when passing between those pillars. Always be ready for it. Roll on down, go through the broken-in window. We now have some painting guardians that aren't exactly too happy that we just broke into their church. We can now advance up to the rafters. Here you got to be a bit careful. But I still recommend a shield. Because these guys will throw daggers at you. Here's a fun little exploit. Position yourself so that they do that. They try to navigate the corner, but for some reason the AI won't let them do it. And they end up falling to their deaths. It's sad, really. Slash that thing and it falls to the ground. You can get the loot off of it later. Ooh. Careful there. The loot off of that chandelier is a spell. I forget which one. By the way, notice that when the dagger pings you, you do fall backwards. Or sorry, you do bounce backwards. So you will want to account for that. Give yourself plenty of room. Perfect. Didn't have to fight the guys. So a little bit of patience. A little bit of focus on your positioning. And it makes life a lot easier for you. So down here we've got another guy that's going to try. Unfortunately for us, these guys are a bit more persistent. We're actually going to have to fight them. Thankfully they don't exactly have highest amounts of HP in their reserves. So they're not too terribly challenging. So we've cleared this side. But we're not done. Because we need to come over here, drop down, then drop in. There will probably be a painted guardian, if memory serves me, right there. But we get a treasure chest for our efforts. Same story. And now we can freely advance. This fog wall is not a boss arena, so just go ahead and enter it without has much caution. Now the minute we step into the center of the puzzle spinning staircase thing, we're going to be attacked eventually. Sometimes. Maybe he's only going to do it once I activate the contraption. Let's activate the contraption. Stand to this side of it and push the lever. And the staircase will move. There we go. Where there's one bell gargoyle, there's always another. So now, we have successfully got our souls up. We've also successfully managed to get in here. We've got the bridge running straight across. I'm going to go ahead and head down. Because I do feel like doing the painted world of Ariamis. Or Ariandel, whichever one this is. Guy tries to hide behind that pillar. He's not too sneaky about it though. Just drop him quick. There are a lot of painted guardians in this room. Just be very careful as you advance, and it shouldn't be too big of a problem. If you're having trouble, definitely use consumables or even a bow to pull them one at a time, because they will swarm if you get in range. So let him do his dagger attack and eventually they'll come at you. And that katana is really good at roll catching on these guys. Case in point, I now have 2 to deal with. Perhaps. Unless they kite themselves. Also enjoy the reach on this compared to, say, a broadsword. So not many more left. This guy will eventually run out of daggers. I hope. We're just gonna pull his buddies. And I pulled a lot. Now I get to pay the price for it. So that's better. Looks like there's at least one more in the corner. Let's get that treasure. Great magic weapon. Very useful. So let's drop the last one, so that we can loot this corpse with the black iron set. If you're going for a heavy knight class, definitely can't go wrong with that. So we've successfully cleared here, and here's our access to the painted world. Now, you can only gain access to the painted world if you also did the optional area of traveling back to the undead asylum and getting the peculiar, I can say this word, doll. So when you examine the painting, I'll let this cutscene play. Ah, so it's Ariamis. Ariandel must be Dark Souls 3. So, Ariamis. There's a bonfire right off the bat, and we will go ahead and pop one additional humanity so that we can go human and kindle. This is a very hostile area, so in some regard, it's better to visit after you've earned the right of kindling, so that way you can have 20 Estus flasks. Let's get our endurance up. So we're at 110. I prefer to be at 120 for most melee characters, at least. If you desire to use heavier weapons, by all means take it above 120. But for now, this will do. Drop the enemies as they come at you. There are a few hollows in hiding. But just advance upward and follow the area. There are a few different enemy types here. I will cover them as they appear. Around this corner is the first. These blobular enemies. Not actually sure what they're called, but they look like they've got something sucking on their heads. Gotta be careful, they do cause toxic. Most of the time you can just ignore them, like I'm doing here. I'm just going to run past them. There are more in this room. I will do the same. Just run past them. You can fight them, you can kill them if you so desire. But in many cases, it's not necessary. Here, we will follow down and heal up. We need to be careful here because of another type of enemy. Sometimes will swarm. But I don't see any at present, so that's good. We will traverse the light and be careful immediately here because of the phalanx enemy there. They will throw spears. The spears hurt a lot. There's an optional entry there, but I'm not going to do that one just yet. I want to come up and over here and access the back of the main door. This is the gate where we just entered at the beginning of the area. So now we've unlocked the shortcut to quickly get to the Phalanx center area. I'm still going to bypass these guys. We will come ahead here. There are some enemies. Just your normal hollow type. Get some more souls. Now, as far as this playthrough is concerned, we're about to see another new enemy. The Bone Wheel Skeletons. Now, in Dark Souls, these skeletons are notorious for getting players killed. Their Dark Souls 1 variants are the most terrifying, so tread lightly here because this enemy type is everywhere. There are a ton of them just in this small room. They can and they will get you killed quickly. So lure one at a time. You can see that he's rolling there on his wheel, and I drop him. And I do not progress until I know that each and every single one of them is killed. Because if you get more than one of them at a time, it can quickly get you killed. You want to progress very slowly, only drawing their attention as you can. It's also very hard to see in this area, so you want to make absolutely certain that you've killed every one of them. Because just there, he just clipped me and it did a decent amount of damage. So however you want to clear the room is up to you. Notice there, I didn't actually kill that one, but he still maintains aggro. So always, always, always against these guys, an extra little bit of protection is or caution is well worth it. I believe this is the last one of the room. That's not to say that the Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 variants can't be as awful in bad situations. They are just not nearly as terrifying as they were in the first. Because even if you're blocking with your shield, they are just chipping through your stamina because they do not stop rolling. So we need to get this mechanism here turned. It will have a cutscene of this statue turning and about facing, and the next shortcut will open, which was back in the room that we descended the staircase and opened the door behind the Phalanx enemy. And if you could see off in the distance, there was a fog wall there. Now I'm going to be careful here and do some side exploring. Notice, bone wheel up ahead. These are narrow corridors. He still ate through my stamina and still managed to do a good chunk of damage. So thankfully I got the kill off before he killed me. So this corridor is now empty. I don't remember if this is the... Yes, that's the well that we were looking at earlier. But I don't need to go up that just yet. There's other treasure to be had down here, if we're careful. Nope. Got ourselves killed. So that is the downside to trying to use a stamina-driven shield approach. You can be overwhelmed. So let's drop these 3 hollows. Whoop. Real quick. And I'm going to attempt now to use the well shortcut. With the understanding being, I think there's one right there. So let's see if we can lure him to go on past. So that we can gain if you start attacking them, generally they'll give you the advantage and they stun and stagger really easily. But that's generally. Okay. Over here, I know I said we don't normally attack these guys, but this one is special. This one wields an item for us, and if we will use that real quick, we can get a nice pyromancy off of him. He's a unique enemy. That's, as far as I'm aware, the only way to get it. So, for sake of thoroughness, I'm mentioning it. Okay. This is... And I don't know where, but I have the sneaky suspicion there's another one of those guys. Yep, right there. I'm going to quickly grab that key. Just in case the worst happens. But that time we got him. So that's that one. That's the well. We don't want to go back out to the main part with the skeletons again because the skeletons are still there. Oh, and the phalanx enemies are all waiting. Isn't that nice? Thankfully, you can get around them pretty straightforward. You can actually drop a couple of them. They're really great souls. In my opinion, they're actually the best soul farm in Dark Souls 1. I don't know if you get tons of souls by killing people in PvP, like you can in Dark Souls 3. But you absolutely can farm those guys. So I don't think I have 3 just yet, I have 2. I have 2 Titanite shards, so we can just go ahead, upgrade a little bit of our armor, gain a few more defensive points, but more importantly, let's level up. Let's get that endurance just a touch higher. Here, I'm going to go ahead and use a wow, okay. I'm probably gonna go ahead and pop all these souls that we got from clearing the area. No reason not to, and we probably will get another level up. Absolutely we do. So we're at 115 now. It's a solid stamina level. Can always do with more, I'm sure. Oh. Need to go talk to that firekeeper and see if we can upgrade. Okay, so that key we just got is used over here to open this door. Now, I forgot to humanity up, but that's okay. We won't need it for this part. It's actually for a different part. But let's go ahead here. We'll just eat the toxic. And I'm going to deal with it because, as you can see, there's 2 more coming. So now let's go ahead and use our final remaining. Here, we want to go ahead, I'm going to switch two-handed and stay here. New enemy is going to drop down in a second that we haven't faced before. May hurt a lot. So they're half crow, half human people things. But let's get the Dark Ember. Which is the only thing we need from that side. I'll heal up again. Oh, there's one more. I forgot about him. Well, I'm just going to run past this guy. Hopefully they'll leave us alone. As you can see, there's another set of the crow people. Drop them as quickly as you can. Over here, we can go round, pick up the items, so we can do some cosplay of sorts. Drop down here, get some souls. Sorry, I felt like I was missing something. I probably am. Here we can do a jump to get to this side ledge. You could even drop further down if you so desire. But I'm also mentioning this as the shortcut so that you don't have to do that. if you just want to go on that side. I'm going to take the plunge down here. We'll heal up our damage. And we've got some albino rats. So kill the albino rats. And then go get your treasure. So there's the painted guardian set. If you want to cosplay as those guys, feel free. Huh. Interesting. Well, he's going to try to climb back up, so I'm just going to ignore him. We're going to go around the bend here, pick up this item. It's the egg vermifuge. Needed if you're going to do that part of the quest line. I'm going to roll over here to get to this side ledge. We're going to see if we can make this jump. We do. So that we could technically get around them. Oh. But in order to get down there, you've got to go back to the main part. So we'll just bypass all these guys real quick. They won't mind. The phalanx sure won't mind. But as you can see, the phalanx sure do their number of damage if you get hit by their spears. So, and I realize we're pretty unupgraded when it comes to our armor. That is something that I have been overlooking. I did come back here for a purpose. I feel like there's an item or something that I missed on this top ledge. So I'm going to go ahead and explore it. It's down there. Okay. This wooden board. If you crack through the boards, you can go through here. That's how you can get Velka's rapier. Another fantastic dexterity-based, I believe, weapon. That's just based on how it says rapier in the name. So let's actually take a look. Velka's rapier. Oh, not only that, but it has a little bit of intelligence behind it. And it looks like it has additional auxiliary effects. So a fantastic little extra kit. So if you don't feel like running just a dude in heavy armor, try out a different setup. So I'm going to pop that humanity we just got. And we will go ahead and reverse hollowing. Oh. I do not know why we not know why we did a flying jump there, but whatever. Okay, over here. Tread lightly, tons of hollows. So kill the ones before you enter. The reason we're here in human state. Where'd Torch Guy go? Did the Torch Guy just fall to his death, or is he hiding? Always makes me nervous when you lose sight of enemies. This is why we want to be in human form. Get to battle against Jeremiah and his Xanthus set, which is just a fantastic headpiece. And he's a little fiery character. There you go. We will get the notched whip, and we will pick up a very fantastic amount of souls. And then proceed to be unable to get back up the ledge. So let's go back to the center. I believe there's something around this edge. Yes. Pyromancy. May not necessarily be using it, but as we explore it, if you so desire to use it, by all means. I don't know if that's a side that my friend is going to explore or not. At least not on his first playthrough. But who knows? So it looks like 24 is not, technically, strictly speaking, going to match 120 stamina, much like 27 technically wasn't 1000 HP. So the formulas are slightly tweaked, but the basic premise is still the same. So I need 7600. Let's see if we can readily get that. So that's 5. I was hoping that was 8. Maybe that's 3. Good, that's 3. Right. So we'll have 121, but that's okay. That's just more of a level I am accustomed to. So I don't know if truly the same swing consumption matters or not. We'll find out. But we can definitely start focusing now on getting our other stat, our main damaging stat of dexterity, a little raised, so that our 250 will go much higher. And I can't kindle this fire any further. So there is only really one thing left to do. There are technically 2 bosses in this area. Unfortunately, I don't have the easy means to do the first. There's a poison spewing dragon that if you have a large number of arrows, you can just, you can just rain arrows down on it from a distance and it literally can't do a thing to hurt you. Then there's the other boss fight. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, we've got that guy coming. So, can't get the backstab on these guys, but same tactic for getting around and following up still applies. Incidentally, now we should be able to upgrade our weapon to +10. Something to consider. This is the most interesting boss, in my opinion, for this one aspect out of the whole Dark Souls boss series. The boss is not aggressive. Matter of fact, you can actually have a semi-one-sided, well, mostly one-sided conversation with Priscilla, and she will tell you, hey, you don't have to be here, you don't belong, just leave. You don't actually have to fight her. It's the one boss in the whole series that you literally can just ignore.
Who art thou? One of us thou art not. If thou hast misstepped into this world, plunge down from the plank and hurry home. If thou seekest I, thine desires shall be requited not. Thou must return. This land is peaceful, its inhabitants kind, but thou dost not belong. I beg of thee, plunge down from the plank and hurry home.
So, unfortunately though, Priscilla, we are here for a purpose. So, I apologize. Priscilla is a half-breed. She is Crossbreed Priscilla, for her full name. She is part human and part dragon, as you can see by her tail. And speaking of her tail, she is a unique boss weapon. Boss, for lack of better words, that came out poorly. She's a boss with a mechanic that can earn you a new boss weapon. What you have to do in this case is sever her tail, as with most dragons. Really, that's all you're going for in most dragons, severing the tail. However, she has a unique situation in that, yes, she's got a fantastic looking scythe here. It's got a nice, yep, that's nice and huge compared to the character. But she also has the ability of Life Hunt. She will go completely invisible. So there's fun with that. But I'm going to go ahead and show how in the arena, wherever I step, there are footsteps. If you are watching and observing and paying attention, you can actually see her bare feet leaving behind footprints as she runs through the snow. So that's what you're ultimately looking for to find her. If you attack her enough, she will enter back into the physical, visible realm. So, with that being said, let's do the terrible deed and attack the person that's not even attacking us. Sorry, Priscilla.
I expected as much from thee. Why?
As you can see, we've now lost her. But and that blood loss hurts a lot. So run, 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 heal. Sorry, I'm really trying to get your tail. There you go. And it's one of the few fights that you actually kind of feel like a jerk, because she didn't mean you any harm. She actually was nice. And she's not even that hard, once you know the mechanic. It's just kind of sad. So, we'll go ahead. In this case, I want to use a homeward bone. I want to return to the bonfire, because I believe that's the only way you can get at that one spot I stopped. There should be a set of armor. Oh, I don't need to go higher than that. I need my dexterity up. So we need about 1,000 more souls. Any of my souls should work. Okay. Oops. So we will definitely revisit this area a little later. I'm going to use this character when I'm not doing the walkthrough. We'll use this character and I'll have to pump some stats, but I'll show in another part of my channel how to do the Dark Souls 1 farming here in with the Phalanx enemy. Because it's not terribly hard. And you can quickly level up all your stats that you care about to their soft caps. So it looks like his corpse is now sitting there, or we can get the Xanthus set. And now we can plunge off and leave. Which incidentally, this is the only way to leave the Painted World of Ariamis. You have to jump off this ledge. You can't actually warp out of here. I mention warping because once we defeat the next boss, we will unlock the ability to warp. You won't have to run from area to area anymore. And surprise, these guys are back. But that's okay. I'm just going to sprint through here now. We've already illustrated how to clear this area. and I'm going to return to the bonfire. So wait for the elevator. I realize this is pure backtracking, but we do want to go ahead and ensure that we aren't going to be left without a bonfire. Just go ahead and fully plant ourselves in this world.
Welcome. If you exit, if you are follow.
And I'm going to go ahead and use that Firekeeper soul anyway. Get to +2.
What is it? What am I? If not, again.
So, I don't think we can get to our next level up readily. 17,000 is a bit excessive considering what we have with these two. I'm not sure what the soul of a brave warrior is worth. Perhaps that's worth a ton. But I'll hold off onto it for now. Because if we don't have our next level up guaranteed, this next area, next part especially, can get us killed in a hurry. Because it's time for the infamous Orlando archers. Assuming this elevator is ever coming. There we go. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is definitely the part of Dark Souls 1. Makes me the most nervous every single time I get to it. You only have to do it once. But that doesn't make it any easier. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This little tidbit here, this little part of the Orlando section, is among the worst in the game. I honestly believe more people die to these archers than perhaps any other enemy in the game, save for bosses. And even then, some bosses, I'm highly confident that they overshadow those bosses in their kill counts. So, and I'm not trying to frame it as an insurmountable or the worst challenge ever, or even trying to be, you know, dramatic. I'm being realistic in this case. These enemies are the worst. As you saw there, and flying towards me now, those are arrows. Giant arrows. Yes, they are literally the size of beach umbrellas. Or decently sized javelins. And what we need to do, you can see a little bit of it peeking around the corner there, so we need to go around this tiny ledge, go up that little thing like we did climbing into the chapel, walk along that that balcony ledge, where there's that archer sitting there on the edge, somehow either fight him, kill him, or just through sheer luck get around him, continue round the side of the tower, and fall down onto another balcony window ledge. There's a bonfire right past that so that you can count your blessings, praise the sun, and never do this again for at least this new game cycle. So, I'm not going to lie, it is among the worst. Because it's not just one archer, it's two. The second one is over here. There is a wall betwixt you. However, there is an archway so that he has visibility when you are making your way to this one. So you technically could get hit in the back or in the face if you're not careful. So, without further ado, let's go. Recently, my strategy has been to just go here, dodge cross, take it to the back, until you can get here. Because once you get here, at least then you've isolated to an encounter. You can drop the second one before you have to proceed too terribly far. As you see though, if I continue to back up, the first one comes back in range. So if you get a backstab here, you can even kick him off, which is great. I'm going to risk it, but technically getting these can get you killed. Also, the ledge, like the other one, is a bit wonky. Now you here, you want to dodge, dodge, dodge. In many cases, you're just kind of hoping that you can just work him off. There you have it. Glorious frabjous day, we did it in the first try. So don't sing our praises yet though, because we're not done. Not until you get that bonfire. Because once you get the bonfire, you won't have to care about it anymore. To get that, you go in here, open this doorway, go inside, light that fire, and have a gloriously wonderful chat with your favorite sunbro. Or get invaded. I lit the fire, but looks like I'm being invaded. So let's see if I can give him a wave. Yo. Let me see if I can drop. Give him a twin humanity. No, he wants to fight. Maybe he wants to fight. So, he might be in it for the PvP. Nope, he just gave it back. Oh no, he wants to fight. Okay. Well, we'll... Wow, I am Sadly overcumbered. But that was fun. And he was generous enough to offer us back a twin humanity. So even though technically we lost our form... Aww. It didn't actually count as us lighting the fire. Well, that stinks, because that means we have to do the archers again. Because technically, I guess we didn't rest at it or something. Oh well. Be it as it may. Oh well, at least we had some fun fighting the guy, right? Hopefully, getting back through and fighting those archers again will be nearly as painless as it was last time. Hopefully that wasn't a one-swing wonder. Oh, okay. Didn't even realize you could roll through that. So, I learned something new. You can roll through that, and now I've wasted our time. So I do apologize in that regard. And now I have learned that you can fall through that ledge. So, let's get back to it. Lots more running. Actually, you know, that would be a very interesting run. It'd be very expensive. But a lot of the Dark Souls community likes to come up with challenges. You know, like the no-hit run, the soul level 1 run, you know, different challenge runs. I enjoy doing my own to some lesser extent. I'm not even possibly going to dream up, at least right now, the no-hit run, just because, like, right there would have died. Would have been over. Or a no-death run. But they've got other ones, like, you know, every time your character, you have to drink an Estus flask, you have to drink Sunny D in real life or something. Should make one where you actually have to go sprint. Like if you want to go 5 miles in the world, you've got to go run 5 miles yourself or something. But if you're going to do it just like the Chosen Undead, you got to actually wear full armor. That would be insane. Oh. Took an extra one I shouldn't have. And it got me killed. The delightful coalescence of, or convergence, not coalescence, delightful convergence of heavy arrows, small ledges, and gravity. Glorious, glorious gravity. That's okay. Not going to get discouraged. Oh. Gotta be careful going down these. If you sprint, you will actually take a lot of damage. I don't know why. I don't remember the original Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition being like that. Or the 360 edition was the one I played. So I think it's just something possibly with the remaster. I'm not certain. I'm gonna go ahead and fully heal. Oh, that is not something I need right now. Careful. Thankfully that guy keeps whiffing overhead. Okay, let's do this. Lots of dodging. Dodge. 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 Yay! Awesome. And we're not in human form, so we shouldn't get invaded like last time. So now we can sit with our solar sunbro buddy with our already previously lit fire. So it doesn't count because you technically didn't rest at it. So that's an interesting thing I've never actually tried. It's out of habit. You always immediately rest. So let's look. We are 15,000 and change. Now that we're not under duress from archers, that's actually 10,000. That's not good enough. So we'll just pop the Soul of a Proud Knight. Suppose we didn't have to. There's an enemy nearby we could kill. But our dexterity puts us now at 263 for our attack. So we're definitely starting to climb.
Oh, that you've been Smough summon. Anytime you see my book, you left me with quite an impression. You really are. If I didn't know. Oh no. Dip. You really. If I didn't. Oh no.
Alright. If you are going for trophies or achievements, and you find yourself in a situation where you can't summon other players, you will want to know about this chest. Because this chest has 3 sunlight medals. So if you're not actually being summoned or summoning others to help them out, those sunlight medals, you can use them to get the covenant rewards. And I think you need like 10 of them in order to get the full covenant. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking something else. But that's at least what memory is telling me. So we're going to go through here because we've killed Havel. We definitely want to come down here. I don't think there's an enemy in here, but there is this. Now notice, this treasure chest I am being a little more cautious near. There's also this message right here telling you an enemy ahead. There's also the fact that there's a bloody stain right in front of this treasure chest. If anything about that screams out of the ordinary to you, you're on the right track. You're paying attention, which is something Dark Souls loves for you to do. Notice the chain. The chain tells you immediately whether you need to be concerned or not. It's not something I have pointed out up until this point because it didn't matter until Anor Londo. These chains curl backwards, away from the character. If a chain curls away from the character, it's perfectly fine. Go ahead. Open the treasure chest. Ooh, I didn't actually kindle that fire. I didn't think about it. Get your loot. Enjoy Havel's armor and Havel's gear. I think there's actually another treasure chest down here somewhere. Well, other than that one. Nope, that's it. But these guys, these chain forward chests, these are mimics. And if you try to open that treasure chest, it will kill you. So for these ones, just go ahead and without mercy go ahead and kill them. Now be aware, they are going to attack you and defend themselves. And they can still kill you. Rather easily. Because their attacks hurt a lot. But once you kill the mimic, you can actually get its treasure. And it's gone from the game world at that point. But be forewarned, like I said, Anor Londo is the first place it matters. But yes, treasure chest trying to kill you is a thing. And yes, given the chance, they will kill you. So before we go on, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a Twin Humanity. Got an extra one courtesy of our friend. So let's reverse that hollowing. Which does technically open us up for invasion, but that's okay. I like to at least kindle every one that I meet, so that every single bonfire technically at least gets 10. 10 is a comfortable level, 10 is fun, 10 is fine. only the critical ones, or, you know, possibly overage later, do I try to then go for 20. So let's repair our equipment since we're sitting on some souls. Let's see if we can actually reinforce our Uchikatana. We can. So we'll get another 9 base and another 5 in the bonus. So an extra 14 damage. But we can't go any further because we need to ascend the weapon. So we can't actually ascend gear, we can only reinforce. So we don't have any Titanite shards, we literally are done. But our character attack now is 277. Not too shabby. Now the main thing sorry. Trying to get the spin on this guy, but not actually working. Oh, that's my bad. Now the one thing you absolutely need to be aware of is that now that we're in Anor Londo, we can't go anywhere else. We're stuck. Now we're stuck in a good way. You have to kill Ornstein and Smough, or Smough, or however you want to say that. But you have to kill this area's boss. Thankfully, they give you all the tools that you need, and even if you get stuck, there's plenty of material here for you to, you know, grind your way forward. Assuming, of course, that if you followed it, you should be able to maintain your gear by at least repairing it. If you didn't have that, you technically couldn't grind over and over without fear. So that is something that hopefully you have done. Hopefully you're not stuck in Anor Londo with completely broken gear. But well, I stay and I chat, and I open up an invasion. Well, he's headed up, so let's just wave and say hey. This guy again. At least I think it's this guy again. So is he gonna fist fight, or... I mean, I'll play along. See if he does a fist fight. Wah! Wah! That or he's just gonna get annoyed and kill me. Wah! Oh! Wah! Oh! I actually didn't realize the dragon attack had so much attack to it. It's pretty cool. So anyway, better equip my sword. Oh, a little too early on my timing. After all, I mean, every single time you kill that knight, you get 1,000. That's not too shabby. Plus, if you had done the peculiar doll setup and gotten to the Peyton world of Ariamis, technically you've got the best soul farm in the game at your disposal. You don't necessarily have to fear getting stuck at Ornstein and Smough. You should easily be able to at least get yourself, if you're like, man, I need like 10 more level ups. Sure, go ahead, get 10 more level ups. It shouldn't take too much time. You know, and if you're the type of character that you feel the need for more level ups, I count myself in a way among them. I mean, I've never done a soul level 1 run. So, strictly speaking, I like my soul levels. I find comfort in having 1,000 HP. I find comfort in having, you know, 120 stamina. And that 1,000 HP threshold, that's actually arbitrary. Because technically that's based on Dark Souls 3, where you could kindle or ember and get an extra 300 HP. So technically speaking, that number might actually need to be higher. So, we'll see. Okay. This room. This room you need to be a little cautious. Because right around this corner, you can even see his weapon sticking out there. Got another knight who's going to try and ambush you. He's the only sneaky one of the bunch. But thankfully, he's the only one of the bunch. No, Silver Knight Straight Sword. Not bad. Other than that, you got your standards. These guys don't necessarily hide. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this guy, just because it makes it easier for me to remember that he's already dead. Oh, although not if he's going to do that. Stab. Okay. I don't remember if it's this side or if it's this side, but I want to say there's an item. Nope. Maybe I am misremembering. Sorry, it sounded like I heard footsteps. I could have sworn Sigmar or Sigurd was going to be here. So we must have missed talking to him. Doing his quest chain right. So a little bit of swordplay against these guys, lure one of them out at a time. And they're not, strictly speaking, terrible. There's only 3 of them. See if you can lure them. And if we can't get Sigward's, it's not the end of the world. It's possible that means we don't get a Titanite slab. But that should be okay. Always check the chain, looks fine. Demon Titanite, always useful. So there's the other side of that. Oh, that's right. We have to backtrack a little. Because killing this guy was just to prep for getting back over here later. Now this way, you can fight a Demon Titanite. I'm not planning on doing that just yet. This way is what you want to do, but the corridors are very small. These guys are going to try and rush you. Get off that thrust in order to bypass a shield. Same story goes here. Except here you got a little bit more mobility to get that backstab. I'll take a hit to actually complete the rotation. Check the chains, they both look good. The Silver Knight set. And now we're back down to the ground floor again, right outside of Solaire's bonfire. So we'll go ahead, get our Estus count back up. Also get a dexterity level up. Oh, let's actually also go ahead and repair. Perfect. Now, strictly speaking, you don't have to fight this guy. You could just run right past him. As you can see me doing there. Could fight the Demon Titanite if you're interested. You do want to go up and around. There's a broken window here. You can fall down that ledge in order to get an item. For now, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to come down this way. Got this guy here. Let's go ahead and kill him. Ouch. There's also another one over here. Okay. But now we can open this gate on the other side of the giant enemies. There are two of them on this ledge here. Take the one. See if you can lure them. Perfect, okay. There we go. Sometimes you can even also shoot them off with a bow. But a Titanite chunk is a very useful item. Especially because I think we need one to ascend and possibly one to upgrade. So here's the giant blacksmith. Before we talk to him, if you swing around this way and hug his side, you can get to a chest behind him, which has a hawk ring for those that like using bows. So, as you see here, we can't actually ascend gear. We can make a lightning katana, or we could start using boss souls. This is the only character in the game who is capable of doing the boss soul conversions. So, if you held on to your boss souls, you can trade them in here. But other than that, we can't actually ascend our katana any further. We can, however, purchase and dump any of our stuff that we're looking for. We can also buy the giant sets. We can also buy oodles of arrows. So it all depends on what you're wanting to go for. In my case, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to cash out on Titanite charts, just because we haven't actually ascended our armor set, and doing so would be the next best course of action. Yes, we could farm those, but this will also help cut down on it. So let's go ahead and I will purchase 19. So that should get us a good chunk of the way through our standard armor upgrades. We'll just have to remember to do that later. So advancing forward, down below, You can see there are two giant enemies. We will need to watch those. There is a gate or a door at the front also. There are a few silver knights scattered. You could just merely sidestep them. That message is for if you've already done the loud trick stuff. Sorry, side quest. And loud trick has actually killed your firekeeper at the Firelink Shrine. So if that's true, oops, not paying attention. If that's true of you in your fight, you can just come over here. I recommend doing it away from the giant enemies. We'll actually go ahead and showcase it. You just pop on down to the black eye orb and hit use. Probably not the best place to do it with these guys right there. But then you invade as a blue phantom. We'll go ahead and pop out. I think it'll let me pull. We'll find out. If I remember correctly, arrows go a little bit to the left. Or sorry, right. So, let's see. Either Loudtrick is going to hang back, or he's just going to rush forward. Looks like he's going to rush forward.
I thought you were wiser, but I thought wrong. Just a terrible pity. Like a moth.
And you can't heal, so I should have healed it before I did that. Because Loudtrick actually could get me killed. Oh, not entirely sure how you got that off through the banister, but yikes, did I pay for it. So I'm going to do the whole kiting. Nope. So, I think the one benefit though is that I don't technically lose any progress. Ouch. Good gracious. Well, now, for better or worse, all those silver knights are following me. So let's see if we can drop him first. Your goal in this is still just to kill Lautric. You don't actually have to kill any of the other phantoms. But let's not kid ourselves, this magic guy is probably the most annoying. Okay. Need to focus. I do think it's interesting, the difference between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. In Dark Souls 3, when you're vanquished back to your world, I don't remember if I said 1 or 3 when I started this sentence, so I meant 3, so let's apply this to 3. In Dark Souls 3, when you get vanquished back to your world, your character goes exactly back where they were, for better or worse. Yikes, that spears. Unfortunately accurate. So, like in my case, having not killed the enemies would be a detriment. Because that guy would still be charging me when we got back. Just chug, because it doesn't matter if you die, you die. But don't enter the world with damage. Okay. So, I'm gonna drop the shield. It's not like it's actually doing anything for me. I'm okay with Spear Bro. But I'd like to see if I could at least... Oopsie-daisy. Nope. Yikes. There we go. Just had to kill Lautric. I don't know what's going to happen at that point. So let's see. Oh, nope, it gave me the ring and it gave me the Firekeeper's soul. And it sent the other guy back. So, hooray, let's head back to the bonfire. Oh, nope, we came back with 10 Astas. So hold on 1 second before we continue. Okay. So we've avenged the Firekeeper, killing off Loudrick. Now we could equip the Ring of Favor and Protection. The only downside is it'll increase our HP, stamina, max equipment load, but if we ever take the ring off, it breaks. So we will get 200 HP, we will get 24 stamina, we will get an extra 20 points of equip load. So in my mind, it's worth it. You won't have many situations, but once you equip this ring, you just have to remember you can't ever take it off. So usually there's not a situation where you have to have 2 specific rings to even survive. Usually it's just one, like walking through lava or walking through, like in this case here, walking through water. It's usually not multiple conditions all at once. So I'm going to go ahead and equip it, and that way we get some extra HP. Here I'm going to go ahead and equip our Grasscrest Shield again. Our character status is now 34, which if we multiply that by, it's basically 35, we multiply that by 4, that's 140. So we are only 23, 24 technically level ups away from being able to like light roll in this armor with this shield and sword, which is insane just to think about. And good gracious, we just took a ton of damage. But it's not all hope lost. So for this fight, this is the Ornstein and Smough fight. I'm going to go ahead and enter because that guy's trying to kill me. You have to pick a target. You've got big and heavy, you've got light and fast. Ultimately, this is a 2-phase fight though. Whichever one you kill first, the other one will supercharge. So, generally, it's harder if you kill Smough, the big one, first, because the other one will be big and fast. But generally, that's the approach I like to take. Oops. I keep forgetting this isn't Dark Souls 3. I can't sprint while locked on. So there's Smough. And now Ornstein's going to get mad. Come back at us as a much bigger form. So typically, you just want to get between his legs and hope and pray for the best. There's more to it, obviously, but... Ow. I'm dead. But it's also easier said than done. But hey, that's part of the fun. So let's get through here. That spear keeps hitting me. Up and over. This would definitely be a good time to also consider upgrading our armor. Something I had actually forgotten about. Ouch. So I'm gonna go ahead, two-hand. Don't lock on. Heal up. Ow. Ow. Huh. I thought the pillar would take the brunt of it. I thought wrong. But here we go again. Hey, at least this time we dodged the spear. And I will do this one more attempt as a solo. Because if that doesn't totally work for us in our advantage, I'll go ahead and summon Solaire, everyone's favorite Sunbro, to give us a little boost. He's just spamming lightning now. Oh. So I'm about to get smashed. Come on, Smough. There we go. Okay, heal up. Between them. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Get back between them. Slash, slash, and there's Ornstein's Smough. And one of the unique mechanics to that fight, the reason I do it the way I just did, is because whichever one you kill, you get the final, whichever big one that the final blow goes against, you get some piece of their gear. In this case, we got the Leo ring, which allows us, if we flip over here to our rings, the Leo ring will boost counterattack of thrust weapons. And since our Uchigatana is a slash thrust, technically if we were to counter using it, with that ring equipped, we will do bonus damage in our thrusting attacks. Something unique. So we'll go ahead and I'll elevate this fire as well. We'll pop a double. Is it strictly necessary? No. But in this case here, I am sticking to my personal desire, which is every bonfire I come across, if I have the means, let's at least get us up to 10. So let's also level up. So we gain 2 level ups off that. That'll give us 7 more damage, which is starting to get us to a more respectable level. We're also starting to near towards 40 dexterity, which many consider to be the quality soft cap. So we are definitely headed in a fantastic direction. Also, since I'm here, let's go ahead, since I keep forgetting, let's reinforce the Elite Knight set a little. Get that up. Okay, so now I need large Titanite shards. So we still needed 3 more in order to get us to at least a +3 across all pieces. But now we should have a decent chunk more physical defense going on. Yes, technically we're at 213, whereas before we had more like the 270s or something like that. But it's because we took this particular ring off. So, I might put it back on later. First, let's go have a chat with Guinevere.
Thou hast journeyed far and overcome much, chosen undead. Come hither, child. O chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father his form did obscureth, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lordvessel to thee.
Okay, so now, with the help of Guinevere, we are able to now warp.
Succeed Lord Gwyn, and inheriteth the far. Thou shalt endeth this eternal twilight. O chosen undead, thou.
So if you are also into covenants, This one has a covenant here.
Hereafter if thou so may thou be one. Now thou shalt, may thou.
See if I have any. We can do that. So let's go ahead and break the false illusion of the world. Sorry, Guinevere, but we know that you're just a false prop.
Thou that tarnisheth the godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin. And thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
And now all of Anor Londo, once you strike her, has fallen dark. There are a few key changes to the dark Anor Londo to be aware of. First, there are a few enemies that are very, very dangerous. Somewhat. Right here, these two nudes. But you'll notice there's a severe lack of giants. Oh, okay. Camera is going to be my enemy. So I just got severely hurt. But he's just gonna spam parry against us. Oh. I got lined up for a 1-2 KO. Oh, and they sent me back here. Which is fine. The Firekeeper here is none too happy. She's an adherent to Gwyndolin. She is a Dark Moon Blade. She strikes out against those who sin and kill people. People being slightly ill-defined, but usually meaning NPCs. She doesn't exactly like the fact that we just totally killed Gwyndolin. Or, sorry, Guinevere.
So it was you, was it? How dare you produce a blade upon a deity? How did you ever get this far? I shall end you.
So. Not sure what's up with her other hand.
But how? This man is a threat. Master.
That's also the easiest way to get a Firekeeper soul, so that we can get another Estus Flask charge plus. Now, for this, okay. I apparently fail in my memory. So we're gonna have to run back up this staircase. The disembodied voice that we heard upon hurting Guinevere's image is the voice of Gwyndolin, which the firekeeper that we just slew made reference to in the name of Master Gwyndolin. And we are going to go down here and face off against him. So here's a bonfire. As is our rule, we'll go ahead and pop a twin. We'll reverse our hollowing state. We'll kindle this flame. So that we get our plus 10. Let's go ahead and repair. And I think joining the Covenant is out of the question at this point. Yep, it's out of the question. So, Gwyndolin. He will use teleport magic to constantly draw himself further and further back into an illusory hallway. There are 3 attacks you need to watch for. One of them, they will throw many daggers. If you serpentine, you can avoid the daggers. There's another one where he'll fire off this flurry of magic missiles. You can dodge behind or take cover behind one of the area pillars and just let it ping. And there's one where it'll fire a massive orb of magic. And the massive orb of magic will pass through the pillars and it can really wreck our day. So, by and large, that's it. Run, close the distance, smack Gwyndolin, dodge its 3 attack types, rinse and repeat until Gwyndolin is dead. Easier said than done, honestly, because that magic hurts a lot. So, I might even run the Xanthus set. Okay. Because the Xanthus set actually has really high magic defense. So does Havel's, actually. Havel's has incredibly high magic defense. Let me see. I mean, how fat am I in Havel's? That is always the question. I am just barely below half. I can actually medium in Havel's. So, I mean, if the thing actually hits me, it'll hurt. Well, let's find out.
Heretic. First thou offendeth the Godmother, and now thou see fit to trample upon the tomb of the great Lord. I am the dark Sun Gwyndolin.
So,
let the atonement for thy felonies commence.
Here goes nothing. Start closing the distance. That is the one thing about this set, is that you are fat. Huge orb. Flurry. Get behind the pillar. Yep. You're too fat. Too fat for my taste. So let's go with something far lighter. Especially unfortunate is that it kicks you back here each time. So let's actually go with Thief set. Although Thief doesn't really have a... It's black leather. But I'll slightly augment it and put that on. Because we should be... Yeah, 17. We're super light on our feet now. Suppose we could even do this one without armor. But... the downside if you die in this fight, as you can see, is that now I don't actually have a access to the stairs anymore. I now have to go back through here quickly, carefully, because of how it does the camera sometimes. So now we're dropping those guys in 2 hits, which is a nice boon. Tells us that we are definitely headed in the right direction. Hopefully we won't be here long enough to see ourselves get it down to 1 hit. But I suppose it's possible. Take it carefully. Position. Face. Nope, didn't work that time. That's okay. Just be very careful in how you walk through them, because their corpses can and will still move your character model off the rafter. So just let their dying animation take its effect. There we go. So we'll go ahead and have to call it up here. Oh, once again, forgot I have to do it twice. I wish it didn't kick you out of that bonfire that's right before Gwyndolin. I mean, after all, if I can rest at it, it seems like a logical anchor point. But It is what it is. So let's see if we can close the gap a little faster. Still not as fast as I would like to be. There's the daggers. Usually come in sets of 3. Didn't even get off a hit. Big blast of light. Oh. Got off 3 hits that time. Doing the daggers. Got off a single hit. One hit. Not sure how. Okay. Flurry. 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 Nope. Okay. Get behind the pillar. Hopefully one more hit. There we have it.
Oh, heretic, swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
The illusion of the hallway breaks. We get our souls. And another boss bites the dust. There's the brass set that the fire keeper was wearing. And that's an empty chest. Fantastic. So now with the benefit of the Lordvessel, like we said before, we can now warp between critical points. Now I have not used a Firekeeper soul since we avenged ours from Firelink Shrine. That is critical to remember. We need 1,200 more. because that will be our second destination, our next destination in this. Oh, and I don't have... That's okay. Rest. Warp. We can now warp to Firelink Shrine. As you can see, our bonfire is dark. We can try to light it, but there's no firekeeper present. However, because we killed Lautric, we can now examine and say return the soul. We do, and she reanimates. And you can hear the sound there of the fire relighting.
Thank you. I am Anastasia of Astora. Now I can continue my duty. I only hope that my
So now we can reinforce without fear. Go ahead and get our flask up to +3. And now we'll go talk to this guy again.
Heavens, you have done it. You have retrieved the Lord after 1,000 years. It is you. It is really you. Now, as you...
And he's going to take us in a very scary fashion.
This is the Firelink chamber.
We'll place the Lordvessel here. Which I'm so thankful there's an inventory for the items, because there's no way you'd actually carry that physically on you. And here you can see a couple of barriers preventing access to the 4 heavy final bosses. The 4 great minions leading up to the final encounter. Those barriers have now been lifted.
Very well. As to its commence, get brave the fat.
As he says there. And he's going to take us back to Firelink Shrine. And now we know that we need to go visit those areas and go kill more bosses. Kill stronger bosses. So I'm going to go ahead and use the feed item option so that we can go over here and let's give him... Oh, I don't want to give him any of those. Oh, I'll give him a silver coin. Actually, I'll give him all my silver coins. It's a fantastic sound effect, isn't it? Hey, I have a Titanite slab. Oh, now I got a slab. Well, I have a slab. Just didn't expect that. But let's go ahead and level up. Maybe I'll have him eat some more items here in a second. Because we're only 3,200 away. Let's see. Anything else I can feed you, buddy? I'm only 3,200 away. Let's not, I'm not doing the sunlight metals, so I don't need those. You can have that. I want my souls, that's for sure. Need the humanities, that's also sure. Well, I'm not planning on using the dragon tooth, that'll do it. So let's leave it at that. So that's the thing, you can feed items to Kingseeker Frampt and he'll turn them into souls. In case you're a little short, like I was there. So now we have our weapon up to 300 damage, or at least 300 weapon attack rating. My Fashion Souls is saying that I don't like my helm, so let's play with the helm a little. Let's put on the Mask of Velka, that's pretty sweet looking. Doesn't quite thematically match, but probably just needs to be helped along a little. We'll go all Xanthus on us. Except here we'll go... Oh, that's just gross. Well, that's not too bad. I do appreciate the black leathers, but we don't get those for a while. We can get by with the brass set there. Let's see if we can go brass on the arms too. Kind of tone down some of that yellow. That still puts us at a really respectable equip load. Not a huge fan of that appearance. Xanthus it is. So there you go. Got a little bit of fashion running around. More yellows and blacks and silvers. Kind of matches in with our shield. So kind of nifty. A little bit of fashion there. Does that have anything to do with the walkthrough? No, not at all. Just showcases how, you know, gotta make your character look a certain way and have fun, right? So our next objective here, though, we kind of have it a little open-ended. We can proceed through the graveyard now and get to the Gravelord Nito fight, which will also, along the way, give us the Rite of Kindling, which is a respectable starting point. We also could proceed through the depths in through the ruins of New Londo, take on the Four Kings. To do that, we're going to have to go kill the Great Grey Wolf Sif so that we can get the Covenant of Artorias ring. We gain nothing by doing that, honestly. But it needs to be done. We could go through the Demon Ruins into Lost Izalith and kill the Bed of Chaos. That's usually one of the last ones I do. We could travel back to Anne Orlando and press on to the Duke's Archives. But typically the order I will do them in is that next we will do the Graveyard so that we can also gain the Rite of Kindling, because some of the other areas are going to be a bit more difficult, and having an additional allotted Estus count in some of those areas is of great benefit. So we will do that in our next part of the playthrough. We'll go ahead for now and call it quits here. We're at about the 3-hour mark. So next time we start up, we'll go ahead and we'll take our character and we'll run through the graveyard, see if we can defeat Pinwheel and Gravelord Nito, and maybe press on and see if we can get another one of the great souls in our clear next time. So for now, let's go ahead and say our farewells. Take care. Until next time, have fun.